Hey YouTube, thanks for stopping by my channel, The Magical Solution. My name is Leilani. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope you continue to do so. So today's discussion actually is a question that was in my inbox, and it's a very opinion-based question, and it was simply, what is your take on ghost hunting? And I found that to be really funny because anyone who is friends with me on Facebook knows that I have tons of opinions on this because I'm always commenting about it. And here's the reason why I'm always so fascinated with having something to say about it, right? So in my local area, the local radio stations in our area, in the fall season, specifically around Halloween, they like to send their people over to different, haunted restaurants and haunted hotels and haunted, spots in the Hudson Valley. And the Hudson Valley is one of the most haunted areas in the country. And so they'll go and they have their radio equipment and they try and take video footage and they try and take audio footage and EVPs and all this stuff, and they bring psychics that are from the local area to go in to kind of confirm certain things and to try and communicate with spirits and all that. And usually around this time is when I go on these crazy tirades about it. I'm always on Facebook just posting hate posts and stuff. But here's the thing, it's it's not so much that I'm hating on the activity. I'm really not. I think if ghost hunting was done less for theatrics and less for entertainment and more for actually helping to clean out spaces and to help elevate spirits, then I would be all for it. But it's not. Unfortunately, it is for theatrics and it is for entertainment, and it's just something that just rubs me the wrong way. It's every time I hear it on the radio, I have to turn the station off because I just can't. It gets me irate. It really does. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, it's super disrespectful. It's really, really disrespectful to do that. All right, so just for a second, put yourself in the place of a conscious spirit who has been trapped in this realm and in that particular space. And now you have people coming into your space and they know your name and they're calling your name and they know personal things about you and your history, and they're using that personal information to irritate you and to get you to do something, to move something or to make a sound or whatever. And then when they're done with their little party, once they've frustrated you and once they've gotten you upset, then they leave. And tomorrow a new set of people come in and try and mess with you. Wouldn't you be a little upset about that? Especially if you're stuck there and you can't do anything about it. That to me, that's very disrespectful. Also, the people that are going into these ghost hunting activities are usually people who have absolutely no idea how to work with spirits. They might be experienced with going into haunted houses and having some pretty good luck with regards to not getting attacked or not getting anything attached to them or not being harmed in any way, and good for them, and I hope that never happens, but for the most part they have zero experience with actual spirits and the practice of working with spirits, which would be spiritism, espiritismo, and a lot of the traditions that work with them and how to work with them. None at all. And what ends up happening is these individuals get themselves into some pickles, and then they have to come running to the spiritists and to the spiritismos and ask for their help. And I mean, it's insane. So the experience, I think, is another thing is lacking. Also, the ability to communicate and to have the gift to interact with these spirits, despite hiring local psychics to come in and help out. For the most part, it's usually, at least from what I'm seeing, it's usually just a bunch of people with just like a little bit of an intuitive sense, who have read up on the history of the property and who are using that to kind of tune in. Okay. Did you ever consider that maybe the history of that property is wrong? Did you ever consider that maybe throughout history the town lines might have changed and maybe what you thought was that property isn't, and it's actually something else? Did you ever consider that the land itself also has its own energies, and that particular house or that particular hotel or that particular restaurant is sitting on a piece of land that already has spiritual energy attached to it? Did you ever think that just the act of ghost hunting in and of itself opens up a portal? You know, these are things that people, you know, don't really consider when they go in. And so what'll end up happening is, if they end up bumping into a more malicious spirit or a spirit that is very conscious and knows how to kind of mess with people, that spirit will play into whatever narrative you assumed the energies that are in there are, and will play on that to build and gain your trust and to entertain you a little bit, and then eventually build up enough energy to harm you. Yeah. Another thing that I notice about these ghost hunting, you know, shows and radio things and groups of people that just love to do this during Halloween is they have no idea how to protect themselves. Like, usually it's they'll bring like a rosary, maybe they'll bring like a bottle of holy water, or maybe they'll bring some salt, or maybe they'll bring a sage stick or something, but for the most part they don't really know what to do with it. It's just something that they kind of have. Like, maybe they'll wear like a crystal necklace or something, but the art of protecting yourself before, during, and after, it's an art. It's a process that you have to engage in order to ensure that nothing comes home with you, that nothing harms you, that you yourself aren't being open to being energetically, you know, sucked dry. And I noticed that that's not present at all. I also noticed that if there is any kind of energy there or any kind of interaction, whether it's an imprinted memory or whether it's a trap spirit or whether it's a malicious spirit or whatever, individuals do not know how to cleanse that space, nor are they even willing to do that. It's just mind-blowing to me. A lot of it is just for entertainment. It's just to get a couple of EVPs, a couple of video footage, a couple of pictures, and then they're out. But cleansing the space is really important. Now if you're going into like a restaurant or a hotel and they're making money off of this, you know, the idea that their place is haunted and they don't want it to be cleansed and they don't want those spirits to be elevated, then that's a space that, I mean, I would, if I was called in to come do ghost hunting, I would definitely sit with the owner and talk with them and try and convince them to do this, to allow us to clean this space. But if that's something that they're not willing to do, then I wouldn't go. I really wouldn't. And cleansing the space is really important. Now, again, you know, you usually see people with like salt or a sage stick or, you know, some kind of holy water or something. And again, the cleansing is a process. You know, the before, the during, and the after of a space is a process. And if you don't know how to do that, once again, you know, you're left vulnerable, right? I think ultimately my opinion on this is don't do it unless you know what you're doing. Now, I know that sounds very like it's almost like the same warnings that people give when you're playing with a Ouija board, right? It's like, oh my God, don't do it. You're going to open up a portal to the other world and you're going to die and it's going to be horrible. No, I don't have that perspective on Ouija boards either. It's like, look, if you know what you're doing, if you understand how to work that tool, then go ahead, do what you do. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the ghost hunting. If you're going there with the intention of cleansing a space and elevating a spirit, then by all means, go do what you do. But if you're going there just to get a couple of pictures and to like harass spirits, then honestly, you deserve whatever it is that you get. And don't come running to me for help. Like literally, that's what I would say to you. Like if you came to me and you were like, I need help, I have something attached to me, I'd be like, what did you do? And you'd be like, oh, I went ghost hunting and I was messing with spirit. Oh, okay. You can go to someone else. I'll refer to you to someone else because I'm not touching this like at all. I'm so petty when it comes to that. I really would turn someone away over that because it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful, and it's one of those things where you get what you pay for kind of deal, So that's my opinion on it. That's what someone asked, and I told them I was like, I'm gonna be a little. Just a smidge brutal in this video, so I hope that was okay. But yeah, that's my opinion. Please don't do it unless you know what you're doing, and please do it with the utmost respect and with the utmost honor for those spirits, because a lot of them are tormented souls, a lot of them are trapped, a lot of them are imprinted, and also keep in mind that there's more often than not, when there's a hot spot of energy, it's more than one. Like usually when there's a haunting, it's never just one energy. And just because it's haunted with a few energies, they don't necessarily have to be of the same time period. They don't necessarily have to be of the same anything. Two spirits might be from the people who died in that house. Another spirit might be from the people before that house was even built and it was just like a mud hut, and then the energies before that, it could be land spirits that are just simply pissed off because there's a building on their land. Like there's layers to these things, and this is why I'm saying you can't just go in this playing around. You can't be half-assed with it either. You have to know what you're doing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully that answered your question. If you have any more questions, or if you have your own opinion on this and on ghost hunting, if you're a ghost hunter yourself and you were offended by this, my bad. Hopefully this will inspire you to do something more than to just take video footage. And I understand the science of it too. Like I get that it's important to sort of be impartial and to just be the man behind the camera and just take footage of evidence. I totally get that. And if you're going to do that respectfully. That's all I'm asking. But if you're going to invite psychics in, and you're going to invite people who actually have the capability of elevating these spirits, and then they don't, that's really just not right. You know what I mean? Just on an ethical standpoint, at least in my opinion. I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you have any questions or any opinions, please post them. Be respectful, obviously, and I'll try and respond as much as possible. And I've got a lot more questions to answer and a lot more videos to do. Oh, by the way, update. So the interview that I'm doing with Leland on his YouTube page has been pushed back to 9 p.m., not 7 p.m. Some things occurred, and we had to just push it back a little bit. So hopefully you guys can stay up and hang out with us and ask us some questions and interact with us. It'd be awesome. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the DIY how to dress a candle. I think that's what I called it, dressing a candle video, and I talk all about being interviewed in a few hours. Okay, so all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.